What's up everyone, I hope you're having a great day. If you're new here, my name is Paul, this is Tuned Into Cars, and this is the 2019 Ford Mustang Bullet. Today's video is a bit special because I want to give you guys a few tips and tricks on how to film a car review with just your smartphone and a few accessories. Why am I doing that? Well, simply because lately I've been getting a lot of messages asking me how I film my videos from people telling me they would love to get into YouTube, but they just don't have the necessary budget to buy proper filming gear, whatever that is. And that got me thinking, some of the biggest YouTubers on the platform started their channel using webcams or even their laptops front-facing camera, or even, of course, smartphones. And there's a lot of them that still use a phone to film their videos. So how come they made it so far, you ask? Well, it's because the information you provide in your videos and the way you tell the story matter more than the actual gear you're using to film the videos. So without further ado, let's run through the gear we're gonna be using today. We have one smartphone, a GorillaPod, a smartphone holder, a suction cup mount, a small tripod, a microphone, and a phone adapter for that microphone. Sound is very important and you really need an external microphone to capture great sound. So this gear is the absolute minimum you need to film good videos. Everybody has a phone nowadays, and all these other accessories you can buy for a relatively small budget. I'll leave the links to all of these in the description down below if you want to check them out. Now let's put our rig together. Take the smartphone holder, mount the phone to it, and make sure it's secure. Then take the microphone, connect it to the adapter, and attach that to the smartphone holder. And easy as that, you've got your filming gear ready to go. Always make sure to use the main camera of the smartphone when filming, i.e. the one on the back. Even when vlogging, as the selfie one doesn't really offer very good image quality. And finally, you can attach this contraption over here to anything with a tripod screw, like a GorillaPod, a suction cup, and of course a tripod. Now let's move on to planning. First off, drive the car you're gonna review for a few days first, gather up your thoughts on it, and then make a bullet point list with all the things you want to say about it. A very important step to do so that you don't forget important things you might want to mention in your video. Once you got that out of the way, it's time to actually start shooting the video. Here's what kind of footage I usually film for my car reviews. Static shots, a point and shoot walk around, drive-bys, mountain shots, and talking head shots. We're going to film this video in Full HD and 4K resolutions at 30 or 60 frames per second, but we're gonna export it at Full HD 30 frames per second. But don't worry, I'm gonna explain things as we move forward. There's two key ingredients you need when doing static shots: a really cool location and two very good lighting, especially if you're filming with a phone like we are doing today. Modern cameras can deal better with low light situations, but smartphones really don't. It might seem that the shot is good when looking at it on your mobile device, but when you upload it to your computer, you're gonna see that the image quality is quite bad. So let's start with the exterior. Another tip that I have for you guys, especially when filming without a stabilizer, is that you need to keep your movements very minimal. Don't try to over exaggerate your movements and try to do stuff like this, because that's just gonna end up being really bad, unfocused, and quite shaky actually. What you wanna do is to hold your phone with both hands. This way it's gonna be more stable in your hands, and try to do movements such as this one. Sliding shots, maybe panning, but really try to be very smooth and slow. Here's how I do it. So now I'm ready with my static shots I'm gonna import them into my computer, edit a quick B-roll sequence for you guys so you can see the final result. Have a look at this. The reason why these shots look so smooth is because we filmed them at 60 frames per second, but in post-production we've slowed them down to 30 frames per second, half of the original speed, and that really smooths everything out. Remember at the beginning of the video when I told you to think about what you're gonna say and make a bullet list about it? This is where you use that list. And now you just walk around the car, describe it and its features as you move along. Nothing really fancy about this part, but I found that a walk around of the car really helps the viewers to get to know the car before you drive off in it. So let's do this. All done for the walk around. Let's move on to the next step, because I'm freezing here. Now first, what are flybys? Basically they're shots of the car passing by a camera that sits on the side of the road. I have kind of a weird way of doing these kind of shots because 95% of the times I'm filming the cars by myself. What I try to do is find a cool and twisty road, such as the one you see facing the camera. There's also one behind it as well, and I put the camera and tripod in such a way that it actually faces the S and it looks like the car is driving towards the camera. And basically from this one angle I actually get two flybys, one with the car going towards the camera and one with the car going away from the camera. So let's do this. Press record and drive up and down the road a couple of times. You should do the same thing at different locations, just so you have multiple shots of the car driving by and different roads that the car is driving on, just so that the footage doesn't look repetitive and you have lots more variety in your shots. Now in this type of shots you usually see movement, right? Like the camera following where the car is going, but because I'm filming by myself I can't really do that for obvious reasons. But because we're exporting this movie in Full HD 1080p, but we shot it in 4K, that means we can actually do the movement in post. Let me show you how to do this. So this is Full HD, the resolution we're going to export our video at. And this is our footage that's shot in 4K. As you can see, our shots have twice the resolution we need for the final product. And that means we can create movement inside a Full HD container by moving the 4K footage inside it. You can move it from left to right, from top to bottom, whichever way it works for a shot. It's as easy as that. Here's a shot with a 4K footage moving from the left to the right inside the Full HD canvas. And here's another where the footage moves from top to bottom. Is that cool or what? It's fast to edit and easy to film. Now let's move on to the mounted shots. For these shots you need to attach the suction cup with your phone to the car in various angles. On the hood, on the back, in the interior, whatever. The more variety, the less boring the video is gonna be. But mind you, and this is a warning, only attach this suction cup device with your phone attached to it only if you 100% trust the phone mount, that it will hold your phone into place. Do this at your own risk. You don't need these shots, but they do add a lot to the final video. But you shouldn't have any problems on the interior shots, because if your phone falls, it's gonna fall inside the car and it's not gonna smash to bits, basically. So before attaching the suction cup to the car, make sure you clean that surface very well and there's no dust particles on the paint job. Another tip I forgot to mention to you guys: how you record exhaust sounds. So this is the microphone I've been using so far, but as you can see, it's not really connected to anything. But I do have this lav mic, which is this small one over here, that I basically cram into the wind protection of this big microphone over here. I place it relatively close to the exhaust. You don't want it to be exactly in front of the exhaust, because then you're not going to be able to properly capture sound. And this lav mic has a really long cable, and that goes all the way on the inside, attached to my smartphone, which is capturing the instrument cluster. So now we're gonna put the exhaust into sport mode, focus camera, into sport mode, and then we're just gonna press record on the smartphone. And what that does is that the smartphone is gonna capture video of the rev counter and the speedometer, but the sound will come from the outside directly from the exhaust. So let's see, or better yet, hear how this sounds like. And finally, let's talk about the last footage we're going to film today, and arguably one of the most important, key to your storytelling: talking headshots. They are exactly what the name suggests they are. Shots of me talking to the camera, shots where that bullet point list from the beginning will surely help again. So this is the setup right here. Suction cup, phone holder, the phone attached to the phone holder, microphone, and basically you're ready to go. So let's hear record and talk some nonsense. So how do I use the footage to create my videos? Here's a quick breakdown. I usually tend to do a quick intro using a couple of static shots, and then I move on to the walk around part. Usually over this part I lay some of the static shots when I want to emphasize something I'm talking about. Details and other cool design elements, for example. And finally there's the driving part. The base for this one are the talking headshots, on top of which I lay static shots, drive-bys and mounted shots. I usually tend to mix them up quite a lot so that it makes the video more interesting to watch. So this is where today's video ends, my friends. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up if you have, and I truly hope this inspires you to do something on your own on YouTube. And please share this video so it reaches as many people as it can, and don't forget that the next video that's coming out on my channel is the full review of the Mustang Bullitt, 100% shot on a smartphone. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on that video. That's it for today, my friends. Until next time, take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you around.